Eric Davis here on the show in his usual Wednesday Fat Mouthy segment. It was the first time I ever spoke to him. I just loved everything about him. I loved his attitude. I loved how he's a brash, but some guy who can walk it too. I loved everything about it. But what you were shaking your head like you understand.
I get it. That's right.
You do that approach. Stop it if you don't like
Stop it. It's the whole thing about a guy dancing in the end zone. And if you don't want a guy to dance, don't let him score. It's really that simple.
Well, it's a difference between dancing in the end zone and also running up and down the sideline like Cam did with seconds left in the third quarter to get the crowd up. I mean, if you're on the other sideline, you're in Atlanta, and you're seeing that. What do you?
Stop it. Score. Win the game. You know how I stop all trash talking? I win the game. There were times where guys were making all kind of noise when I was playing, and I remember at the Niners, we were playing the Cardinals one time, and some guys were out there just talking trash, and I did just like this.
Pointed to the scoreboard?
Yes, and just walked away. That's because that says it all. I can talk back, I can wolf back and forth, I can do it, but if I really, truly don't like it, let me beat you. Now we can talk. So that's the way it goes.
Odell Beckham is going to be opposite from him on the line of scrimmage this week. That, to me, is the Week 15 matchup. Period, end of story. And he was saying, Josh was saying he calls himself the Dark Knight. You know, Superman is the quarterback, Captain America's the middle linebacker. He's the Dark Knight. And he saw the Joker shoes that Odell wore before the game, thinking that might have been a calling card in his direction prior to the Miami game. That's what he said yesterday.
I don't know if it was, but if that's what he needs to get himself going.
I loved it, man.
J-No can play, and that's going to be a good battle, especially with those guys. I mean, that's the perfect thing. I mean, just the size, matchup, the movement, everything at the line of scrimmage. He's a guy that should be able to move well right at the transition point, the line of scrimmage.
Well, you know, and that's how we're gonna talk it up this week in the national media. Is the Giant Killers? They have prevented a perfect season from happening before. Now here comes Carolina in their house with a visit to Atlanta the following week and home for the Bucs. This may be the best shot anybody has at preventing Carolina from going undefeated this season.
I actually think it's Atlanta.
You think it really is in
more
Atlanta?
So they're going to beat the Giants.
Why do you say that?
They're just flat out better than the Giants.
But they're flat out. You just saw they're 38 points better than Atlanta.
But they're still that same divisional rivalry, regional rivalry, emotion that's involved with that organization. And you can get so hyped. We saw Shady, and what happened with Buffalo. You can get so hyped that things don't work out.
You think that's what happened with Shady?
I think a lot of that. I think a lot of that happened with that team. It's a young team. And that was the one concern. I was talking to Heath Evans when we were doing some things in the meeting before we did TA, and I said the one thing about this game, you got a young team, your skill position guys, your stars on this team are some young guys that you're counting on. You get too emotional. You're getting all upset. You can't play football mad. You can play focused. You can be intense. You can just be direct on and with your thought process that this has to be done, but you can't get mad. Can't get so emotional that you get mad about things because you don't think clearly, and little things start to happen. And that's what I thought would happen in that game. That is the one concern with Atlanta. I don't think it's going to happen with New York.
You don't think the Giants can maybe go point for point with Carolina in some form of a shootout? Odell gets off somehow against Norman when maybe he's not on him. They scheme it in a way that
could happen.
Okay,
but they can't beat them. I don't think they'll beat them.
I've got Eric Davis here on the Rich Eisen Show. You've been pounding the table for Pittsburgh since the beginning of the season. You said before the season you put Pittsburgh for the AFC representative in the Super Bowl this year. And to me, from this seat, it looks like they have the best shot at sticking a loss on the Patriots in Gillette of anybody else left in the field. Would you agree with that assessment?
You know I do. They can score. Defensively, they just have to be good, Rich. That's the thing. Because they can score so many points, because they can run the ball and control the clock, because they can play a physical brand of ball that travels, that's the team that I think has an opportunity to do it. They just need their defense to be good on that day. Don't have to be great. They just need them to be good on that particular day.
You don't think Kansas City? What about them? They might go into the playoffs in a 10-game winning streak.
I wouldn't you just write Kansas City off because that's just you see it. That's a well-coached team. I mean, you lose your star player, and Andy Reid figures out a different way to get things done. We saw what happened when star players went down in Dallas. So coaching does have something to do with it, just understanding the players that you have and utilizing what they have. And I was listening to Alex on the show and saying how he was talking about how the playbook grows with the players that are there. It's not the same playbook that he brought from Philadelphia. He's basing it off of the talent. Yeah, you have your West Coast offense, but he's basing what he does off of the talent that he has. There's obviously we see there's talent on offense. He understands how to utilize Alex to the fullest. And defensively, yeah, again, that's a team that could. You hit the quarterback, you hit guys hard enough, the ball starts to pop out. One or two, a fumble here, a tip ball there. Everyone has a chance.
How do you think A.J. McCarron might fare for Cincinnati?
They're playing the 49ers.
They do.
He's got a shot. They're playing the 49ers. Come on, man. You know. I mean, I hate it, but it's true. I mean, I'm real about it. You know
Yes.
me, man.
I know.
I scout with my head, not my heart. My heart's aching, but my head, looking at it, I mean, who doesn't have a shot?
But then
against them?
they have Denver, and let's say your Pittsburgh Steelers ball out in the manner that you expect them to against Brock Osweiler in Denver. Do you think the Monday after Kubiak does go up to 18 and say, "How's your foot doing"? Do you think he says that?
It's all based on what Brock does this next game. He's had 4 performances, I believe, and 3 of them, you would say they were up to par. It's a really easy decision if he plays well. If he plays well this next week, it's easy. And that's what I keep saying. If the offense is efficient, if he's playing well, there is no decision to make. You keep him on the field.
You could also say that if Demaryius Thomas caught one on the goal line or one on the first down line in the fourth quarter, and then at the end of the first half and in the fourth quarter, respectively, or Vernon Davis catches one over the middle.
Yes.
You could say we aren't even having this discussion.
Yeah, which is why I'm saying this next game, if Brock plays well,
Right.
there is no decision to make if he is playing well. I said it from the start. Before he took his first snap, my comment was if he plays well, Peyton won't touch the field for them again. I'm going to stick to it.
I want to take a phone call real quick. John in Atlanta, Georgia. You're here on the Rich Eisen Show with Eric Davis. John?
Del Tufo!
Hi, John.
My gosh.
Edie?
John, I say you're on with Eric Davis and me, and you give Del Tufo a shout
Get the
out.
full Del Tufo.
Wow. That was 2 words I didn't expect to hear. What's up,
Rich, this
John?
has been in the making. It's been in the making for a while.
I love it. Okay. What's going on?
I'm pretty much in line with ED. Brock played good. I don't think Peyton or Brock beats Pittsburgh, but if he plays well, you got to leave him in there. Mm-hmm. I'll take Han Solo for a whole fourth quarter drive.
Okay.
Fourth quarter comeback.
Over Captain
But
Kirk? Yes.
If I got one last drive, I'm going with Kirk because it's going to be warped, and there's going to be a fine green cheerleader somewhere on the sideline.
Now, I just want to make sure, John, you're talking about Captain, not Cousins, correct? That's the Kirk.
Yeah.
That's the Kirk you're referring to.
You like that? Tiberius Kirk.
Okay.
I want to know, why didn't we get Lando in this? Why did we get Lando? I mean, I'm going with Lando had to keep an entire race alive. Maybe the last black man left in the universe. Why do we not have Lando in here? Come on, give him some love.
By the way, Law Googling Lando right now is the greatest thing ever.
Hold on, I think I know. It's the guy from Reading Rainbow. Right?
I mean, we're going Kurt.
Wow.
We're going Kurt. Come on, man.
Do you really think Lando's LeVar Burton?
I was always
Star
asked.
Trek?
No.
Star
Did
Trek.
you just say LeVar Burton?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
It's Billy D. Williams,
Billy
sir.
D. Williams is Lando.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm out.
It's Billy D. Williams.
Yes, you should bow out. Bow out. Never, ever talk about that
And
again.
he did redeem himself in Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
He kept things together
Yes.
in the Millennium Falcon.
Yes, he did.
Waiting for the shields to come down.
I like this guy.
And in a way, he also saved the Ewoks, too.
Yeah.
So I mean, he has,
I think you got to put Lando in there.
He has the hero gene.
And because if we're going to be fair and balanced, got to add another Star Trek, put Spock in there. Put Spock in there.
No, we're not adding
Why?
Because this
Is it a landslide for Han Solo?
This is my poll question.
What is the name on the mug? Del Tufo, tell him what the name is on the mug.
This is the Rich Eisen Show.
Great. But the point is that these are the two quarterbacks. Go head to head. There's not 3 teams on a field.
But Lando's
There's 2 teams on the field.
Lando's a QB, man.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, man.
I'll put Lando on a Twitter
You're talking
poll
about
question.
pressure. Lando had to save an entire race. It was him.
We're just talking about winning a football
It was-
game.
but
There's
that's
no
what I'm
race.
saying. You're talking about winning. It was just him. He was the last black man in the universe.
All right. I'll add Lando to
I
this.
wouldn't be here.
Because it was a long, long time ago. It was not in the future.
That's right. It was
Yes.
a long, long time ago.
There'd
See,
be
these
no
are little
race.
things you gotta pick up
There'd be no
on.
reading rainbow without Lando.
Notice
Oh
I've just
my gosh.
I've gone silent here. I'm gonna just step out of any of these conversations.
Let's take
moving
a break.
forward.
I just love making you
Eric
uncomfortable there,
Davis
Long.
is here on the Rich Eisen Show. 844-204-RICH, Will Ferrell and Adam Sandler and Rick Glassman all still to come.
Take a look, it's in our book, a reading rainbow.
Well, we gotta go there.
Starring Lando Calrissian.
Why can't Lando stand in the pocket
Lando's
and,
not a
and distribute?
pocket
Why does he
passer.
got
Are we really having this
He's
discussion
trying to
now?
say
Yeah.
Lando has to run the option.
Lando's like Russell Wilson.
Why is that? What are you trying to say,
Well,
Brockman?
you said he kept your race going.
Did you add him to the poll question?
I added him.
Okay, so which
Who
would
do you
rather
want
right.
leading your fourth quarter comeback?
You gotta add another Star Trek guy
Han
now.
Solo or Captain Kirk, the guys who stay in the pocket.
No, he could stay in the pocket. He just had the ability to get out and improvise.
Orlando for Eric Davis.
There we go.
Lando Calrissian.
We're not adding anyone else.
You have to add another Star
We're not
Trek
adding
guy
anyone else.
because it's biased
He's
against Star
a
Trek.
Cam Newton type.
Who are we going to add? Khan to Star Trek? To this?
Oh, hey.
A villain?
But we just heard you can't play angry, and he's got the wrath, as we all know.
You're
There's a
right.
wrath.
You're right. That's true.
You can't play.
You can't play angry. That's right.
Hey, were you at the downtown hoops dojo of the Los Angeles Lakers last night?
Yes, I was.
You saw
Yes, I
Kobe
was.
dropped 22 on the Bucks last night in a win.
Yeah, not 6 or 7 assists. He actually
Hell of a pass too. He
Yeah.
it was some bounce pass from the
Yeah, that was
three-point arc.
nice. That was pretty nice. It was
Yeah.
good to see him play well and see the team play well. It felt a little uncomfortable, I think,
Why?
to everyone when they started chanting MVP at one point in there.
Wait,
But,
really?
Other than that,
Never change, Lakers fans. Never change.
I love Kobe, but it was good to see him play well. He's going to have. Out of the 82 games, he's going to have
Right.
20 of those
Well,
where
sure.
he's going to play well.
Well, he's had 20-point games. He's had 4 in December now.
I think
Yeah,
he's...
and the team is going to, and the team responds. Everything works when he's making his jump shot. His legs are under him.
Now, when they
look
chanted
good.
MVP, did Nick Young stand up and wave to the crowd and say thank you? Did he say that? Did Swaggy P say
no,
yes? I am.
I know. I think
he do that?
everyone just sort of looked down and chuckled. I mean, even Kobe. You know, I know he appreciated it, but he just kind of shook his head.
There's love for Kobe in
Yes.
that downtown hoops dojo.
Yeah.
There's love for him.
Yes, of course. I mean, we all know it's coming to an end, and
It is.
But it's good to see him play well.
Okay.
If you're a Lakers fan, you want to see him go
Feeling
out with
you.
a couple of good ones.
Okay. So you would vote for Lando Calrissian in the poll question?
I would vote for him in anything, no matter what.
Anything. Absolutely.
No matter what. A long, long time ago,
Yeah.
he survived
Yeah,
to keep us here.
exactly. And he was great in Star Trek. With he was the one with the auto filter over his face, right? Is that the one?
Sticking out, staying away from these conversations.
I can't believe what a blind spot this is in your
That's
pop
it.
culture, television,
I don't
and
like
movie
CGI in
He's
my
going all the way
movies.
back.
I'm not a sci-fi guy at all. Just not.
Wow.
That's
To see Avatar was like painful for me, although I did enjoy it.
Was it
That was a
painful?
very good movie.
It was very good. It was a
That's
love-
the first
it was a
time
love
the
story in
Indians.
Hollywood.
That's the first time you ever had a show, and Native Americans. It's always the Cowboys.
Good to
They-
see you,
they
Eric
won.
Davis. Thanks for coming on.
Good to be here.
You bet.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.